Hope everyone's doing well today. Welcome to the Daily Reps. Today we've got Jonathan, Joel, and I, and we're going to be chatting a little bit about our personal lives, as in some of the hobbies that we like to do outside of being in the gym, outside of working out or working at the gym. So we're going to dive into some other things that we like to do. So we're going to start with Joel. Joel's got some pretty exciting stuff coming up, so we're going to let him kick us off here and chat about that.
I don't like this. It feels weird, but all right. Well, the big thing coming up, you probably have seen it if you're doing anything in Wodify, is I have my first of many kids' books coming up in September. Yes. It's already available for pre-order, so we'll probably have the link somewhere.
For sure.
But it comes out soon, and we're going to do a book launch event here, which I've always loved about Jonathan, and he's very gracious about the space that the Lord's given him. And so yeah, it's going to be on September 20th at 3 p.m. There's going to be inflatables and face painting and coffee and yes, other stuff. Hopefully not no one does 4 shots of espresso. Please don't do that. Or I might do that before I explain all the book stuff. What else should I say about that? Or do you want
tell us about your book?
Yeah, I have a question about it too. What got you into writing? Not just writing, but writing children's books.
Yeah, actually, it's a great question. So I wrote a book on corporate culture like a few years ago because a friend of mine who's written a book said no one will take you seriously if you try to talk about something if you haven't written a book. And I was like, I'm just always been a person that if you say to get from A to C, you have to do B. I'm like, okay, well, I'll just do B. Like if you say that's what you do, then I do it. And so I wrote the book. And I realized how much fun it was. And then we've talked about this a few times in the podcast, but I was in counseling. And my counselor, the type of counseling I do is called EMDR, which is the best type of counseling. It's eye movement disassociation reprocessing, I think is what it is, or reprogramming or anything. Basically, it's tactile, physical. You basically try to get rid of the physical natural response that you might have to trauma or anxiety by replacing it with good.
Okay.
And what you do is often you'll either have like paddles in your hands that will vibrate and you'll like touch them, or you'll be watching like a light bar.
Okay.
And then the counselor will say, let's talk about this trauma, and you'll talk about it, and then you'll think about it, and then you replace it with good. And what it does is it helps your body get rid of that. Anytime you think of the trauma, you get the anxiety or the automatic response. So it's really good. But I was doing that, and when you start that kind of counseling, they go, let's list all your traumas, and it can be anything. And he goes, let's go to your earliest trauma. And I'm thinking, I don't know. It's like, what do you mean? He's like, anything that you didn't like when you were a kid. And I said, I got stuck in a tree, I guess. And he goes, let's talk about that. And so we talk about it, and I go, oh, apparently I hated being embarrassed so badly that I was like, I'm never going to be embarrassed again. Yeah. And like, I get physical response in my body when I get embarrassed. I get hot, I get sweaty, my heart rate jumps up, and other people are like, Jonathan's like, when you get embarrassed, you're like, whatever, who cares? I'm like, how do you do that? How do you live a life if you get embarrassed? You're like, I don't care. I'm like, my body literally goes into fight or flight for some stupid reason, even if it's literally getting coffee and the person's like, do you want 4 shots or 2? And I'm like, I don't want 4, but I can't say it now. So I guess I'm going to drink 4 shots. I'm like, what is wrong? But so I was talking to him about it, and he goes, well, you've written a book. Why don't you just like write about this in some type of like a poem or something.
Yeah.
And I said, fine. So I wrote a poem about it, and he said, I showed it to him the next time I met him, and my counselor said, this is great. You should actually finish it and turn it into a kid's book.
Oh.
And what was really cool was because I'd already written a book, I think I was more willing to think of, oh yeah, I'll try that. I'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And so when I finished it, and then I showed it to him again, and I showed it to my publisher who I was already starting to work with, they're like, this is fantastic. And it was really just the story of a boy who gets stuck in a tree, but he loves climbing trees. So it's not like he's never climbed a tree before. It's when you've done something you love, and then something changes that, and it changes something in you.
Yeah.
And so it was just that idea that like, hey, it's weakness, failure, are all a part of life, because a part of life is taking risks. And if you don't ever take risks, or because you failed after a risk and then you stop, like you'll never really enjoy the life that you're supposed to be living. And so that's where that story came from. And then like that to me, and I think it's a lot like when you get into fitness, is the more you start to explore your ability in fitness, the more you start to enjoy it. And then you're like, oh, maybe I'm going to start doing this and start doing that.
Yeah.
And it makes it easier to really push into it. And so that's where like, all right, I'm going to write a book that goes alongside. So like this one's The Boy in the Tree. I've already finished, just needs to be edited, a book called The Girl in the House, which is more for like the female side.
So cool.
And it's the reason too, was I wrote that corporate culture book, and I realized that no one likes to read. Most adults aren't like, I'm going to read a corporate culture book. But as a parent, I will read many kids' books, and my kids will make me read the same kids' book over and over. You guys know, right? And so you're just constantly reading the same kids' book. And so I thought, well, one, I want to help kids, work through emotional intelligence and grow in emotional intelligence, but I also want to help the parents have those conversations.
Yeah.
And so my goal then was I want to write stories that can engage both the parent and the kid, because that's a captive audience too.
Yeah.
Like the parents are just going to be reading all these stories anyway. And so that's where I'm pushing those to do more of those books, more kids books. Like I said, I have the other one, and then I have a series idea that I'm going to write out and flesh out.
Are you doing like a sci-fi book right now too?
I am.
Yeah.
I'm so fun.
Just tell us all about it.
That one was, like I said, once I started writing, I felt more okay to just explore every idea, which I think is a part of being a creative person, is you have to let everything out. You can't just go, I don't know, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because then you'll just stifle whatever you could be doing.
Yeah.
And so I had a dream one night about some sci-fi idea, and then I was like chasing it, and it was so like, I was like, I don't know, I think this is cool. And I told a friend, and he loves sci-fi, and he was like, I would totally read it. Yeah. And then that was it. So I've been writing that for about a year or so, and I am now 80,000 words in, and I need to do 120.
Oh, wow.
And I've written, like, you remember you made the joke about the first live stream, I was at like 36, and that was not even a month ago.
That's crazy.
So I've just like...
So what's the 120?
So this is why AI is very helpful if you ever want to get into writing. Because you can just constantly throw it back into your AI and go like, here's what I'm trying to accomplish, here's what I want to do. And they'll say, well, here's the list of famous sci-fi novels, their page lengths and stuff like that, and how many words they have. So if you want one that's going to be along those lines, we'll do that. And then, you throw your outline into it, and then it will be like, hey, make sure you spend this much time here. Yeah. And that's really helpful. So that's the 120. But that's the sci-fi one. But even that is still, once again, about emotional intelligence. It's the idea that what do you do with your life when you've never asked for the things that have come to fruition in it, and you're being asked now to do something with it, when you're like, I never asked for it. I don't want to do this, and people are expecting me to do this. And so, like, what would you do? How would you navigate those things? Or even after loss too, like, what would you do when you had no time for closure? So that's my through line is in writing, is just like helping people learn more about themselves and the gaps in their own emotional intelligence that I've learned in my own life. And I'm not perfect either. I mean, I had 4 shots of espresso today because I don't know how to say no to a barista when they...
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Joel, sometimes I voluntarily ask for 4 shots of espresso, so...
I haven't had 4 shots of espresso since I was in like college. I was like, this is... Oh, bless his heart, Bobby Clark, who's been on the podcast, was sitting across from me, and I'm just like trying to listen to him talk, and he's doing a great job, and I'm like...
just get up in the middle of the coffee shop and start doing burpees. Burn some of that energy.
It didn't help that there was a bunch of Five Forks people there too. We were at the Pinky Palace, the Chestnut.
Pinky Palace. Oh,
I call it the Pinky Palace because it's Chestnut right here.
It's pink.
It's all pink. Although I did see a bunch of guys there having meetings. Because you won't go there because you're like, I'm not gonna go there. It's too pink.
As he's wearing his pink Five Forks shirt, hashtag.
Which you have.
Shout out.
I know.
You don't?
You don't? Why
He
not?
refuses. That's how hard the line is for Jonathan.
Yes,
I will not go to a pink store. I will not wear a pink shirt.
Well, I was going to ask you who or what inspired the Girl in the House? Is that the next one you're writing?
Yes. My sister and my wife. Because I think a lot of millennials, Gen X's, like our age, we are in this really weird environment now where like most of us have to work to some degree and we have to be driven in some way. But then there is that element of like, well, how do you also be driven in your career, but driven in the way that you love your family? And what I've seen a lot of is there's these moments where a mom will be like, I don't really know how to relate emotionally at all times, where I feel like I should. Yeah. Like it's not the like I feel bad or I don't care. It's just like I know there's something missing, and I think it's this. But why is that the case? Okay. And so it's a story of a girl who sees their parents argue a lot, but not like dysfunctional, just a lot. And so she learns to just process stuff alone in her little toy house in her room. And it's that idea that she became independent, and then she becomes a successful businesswoman who has a family,
okay.
but then she sees it in her daughter, this inability to like reconcile some emotions sometimes.
Yeah.
And she learns, hey, I need to help her. And as I'm helping her, I'll help myself too. So it's that's that kind of idea. So, the one for the boy in the tree is more like guys in our culture, I think, we're better now, but we've either go to one side, we either like you can't show weakness ever, or like we are all into our feelings.
Yeah.
And there's not a good balance.
Yeah.
And then the other side is for women, it's like you're either the homemaker who is the perfect wife, or you are boss babe who, like you hire a nanny.
Yeah.
And like there's this middle ground that I think most of us really are in, that we're like, how do you navigate that? And the conversations you have are always so weird too, because you never want to judge, right? So you never want to be like, oh, you stay home and you don't work.
Yeah.
Like, but then you might have a job, or you have a part-time job just because that's what you have to do financially. So
yeah.
So that's where the books come from.
Ooh, I love that. Can't wait for that one to come out.
Thank you. Yes.
All right. Well, that's a little bit about Joel and.
How about there was one other thing, music. You were pretty involved
tell us
in
about
music too. Please.
What's happening with your
It's so low. I don't like that.
gimbal? Was it a gimbal?
It's not a gimbal. Are we gonna go through another time, like naming convention today?
What do you call it?
This is called an arm.
It's called a barb.
It's called a barb. Everything's a barb to you now.
Yeah.
Like everything's a dongle. This is a dongle. That's a dongle.
Yeah.
Everything's a barb and a dongle.
I'm refraining so much right now.
No, so music. Like you've done music your whole life too, right?
Yeah.
You grew up in a musical family.
Yeah.
You said you haven't done. You were a sports family.
Well, you sang in a choir. Remember?
Wait,
Yeah.
you sang in a choir?
Yeah,
That's right. We talked about this. That's right.
I mean, because I
Yeah.
had to.
You didn't choose to it?
No.
Were you the kid that was
Wait, why
like
did you have to?
stone faced?
For credits in school. Yeah.
At North
Was
Greenville?
it Glee
No,
Club?
No, in
Oh.
high school.
Was it?
Can't you
Because the
just
Glee
see?
Club would have been
Can't
so
you just
fun.
see?
Just John dancing and doing stuff, but so upset the entire time. Like I have
So
to
you
do this for
remember how you
college
were
credit.
saying certain things make you feel like uncomfortable, like getting picked on or made fun of, or
What is yours? Dancing?
no, yeah, it's saying that I would be like dancing in a Glee Club or something.
That's right. I've never seen you dance. So,
Well, I can't. So
so your nightmare is
That's the
someone
reason for
saying
that.
you have to dance. That's fair. That's fair. Well, so my dad, I grew up in a musical home. My dad is a musical genius. He's fantastic. And then I apparently got most of his musical talent, and my sister and brother didn't. And so he was like, "Great, I'm gonna teach you all the instruments." I was like, "Cool." So I've been writing music ever since I was in high school, and I started a band with a friend back when I was in Virginia as a pastor, and we've been writing music and releasing it since 2019.
Need to tag your albums. And
Yes,
stuff in
yes,
here.
right here, the Grace Collective, which my bandmate has hated ever since we started it because
The name?
He doesn't hate it. He just hates how quickly we adopted it because I love to I'll throw out ideas, and he was like, "Let's think of a band name." I said, "The Grace Collective's perfect," and he's like, "I don't like how quickly you said that." Then a week later, he said, "I like it, but I don't like that you were like."
It was so quick.
It was so quick.
Yeah.
He was like, I felt like we're going to workshop this
Yeah.
more. So we started the Grace Collective 2019, first album. And then we do a lot of albums from like books in the Bible. So our second album was from Colossians. The third one was from Romans. And then the sixth one is from Philippians.
Cool.
So that one's really fun. And then we did a Christmas album a year ago that my wife has sang on. And we have a great version of "Oh Holy Night" there. So it's been really cool I get to do that kind of stuff on the side, which helps. I mean, I think if you don't have that, and I think we can transition into you, Jonathan, is like, yes, working out's fun. Yes, community is fun, but there has to be an element of there is something that you get to do that scratches that itch, that like how the Lord wired you, not just you're doing things that are good, but you're doing things that are good for you individually.
Yeah.
That the Lord has said, like, this is your thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that you have to make money from it. It's not that you have to be famous from it, but this is the thing that I've made you love so much that if you weren't to do it, like, you would be missing a part of my
You're
influence in your story.
passionate about it for a purpose. Yeah.
So what got you into, was hunting like from a young age, you started that and that you found that you loved it, or was it, how did that come about?
I did hunt when I was young, but I don't know that I felt what I feel about it now when I was young.
The thrill of the kill, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I think taking a step back, like what you said, going back to like the high school thing, I wasn't a sports family. No, not everyone was playing sports, but I was a troubled child with I mean, like I got all the detentions.
Did you really?
Oh man. I remember my mom crying regularly, being like, what did I do wrong?
Wait, she legit was crying like
She's
at the
like-
the dinner table, like, what is wrong with you? How could this happen?
Yeah.
Just like pent up energy, like you needed a.
No, yeah, I wasn't like into drugs. I wasn't into doing those things. It was like I was getting detentions in school. I set like the record for my school for most detentions.
No
way.
They changed the rule.
Stop. Because of you?
Yes, because I was hyper. I remember there was a girl, and I remember I don't remember. It might have been like middle school. And I remember like talking to her, and she's like, "My mom said I'm not allowed to talk to you."
No.
Yeah, and I was
That's
like,
not. She really said that to you?
yeah, again, just going along of like, and the teachers had conventions with my parents all the time because I was just hyper, and sports were that thing that got me, that kept me, I guess
Yeah.
you could say, grounded. It kept I was hyper,
Yeah, high energy.
yeah, high energy all the time,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and so sports were something that. It was something I could get my energy out. It was something that I like lived for, and that intensity, and hence why I think that I've been somewhat successful in just like continuing loving working out, and because I've had that energy. But as I got older, some that immaturity kind of went away. It's still a lot there.
So
but-
why
You
was
just learned how to
soccer?
put it towards something good.
Like of all the sports,
Yeah,
what
the school
gravitated
I went
you
to,
towards?
again, it was a smaller school, but the school I went to, their best program was soccer, and there was like, it was like that thing of, I looked up to a couple guys, and I was like, man, I want to be like those dudes.
Yeah.
And they played soccer, and that's kind of how I started. And then, yeah, I just took off with it, and most of you guys know my personality. I'm like an all-in type of personality,
Yes.
so it was like, I'd go home and kick a soccer ball until it like midnight, and then I go to bed and go to school and get up and do it again, and
Wow.
it was like everything for me. And then in college, I still struggled in school, but sports kind of kept me able to get through. And the hunting side of it is really where I would say that my hobby is outside of working out. And that came from, I did hunt when I was young, kind of went away from it though when I was in college and outside of college for a little while. But a few things of what you just said and what we segued into this was, yeah, I feel that now fulfills me outside of my relationship with the Lord, outside of my marriage and being a father. Hunting, for so many reasons, fulfills that need for me of, like, I have a desire to be adventurous, go on trips that climb mountains, do bow hunting, things that are so challenging. I know most people know I went elk hunting last year, and that like opened my whole mind up to like, oh man, I got to do this more. But offshore fishing, all these things that cost way too much money. But it's like
Have
when I get
connections.
yeah,
That's true.
When that's right, exactly. Have good friends.
Yeah.
When I get out in these locations, there's so much of, I feel closer to the Lord.
Yeah.
I feel, and I got on my phone a few seconds ago because I don't know if you guys heard of the book Wild at Heart.
Yeah.
I don't remember everything aspect of the book, but I do know that I feel that the Lord brings fulfillment in my life when I'm having adventure, doing things like hunting hard things, and I can look up in the sky, feel the silence, and just be close with the Lord. And most of it, honestly, is becoming that way, I feel like, in my life because we have 360 members at the gym.
Yeah.
The employees, my wife, my 4 kids. So there's so much in my life sometimes that I have to be on, that when I go out, it's like, and I'm an extrovert. I mean that, like, it brings me energy to be around people. I actually don't like being by myself, but I've found that, well, and I like going hunting and fishing with other people. I wouldn't want to just only be by
Just
myself.
always alone.
It can be dangerous.
But I have found that
Some
when I'm
places.
hunting and fishing, and these are times where I'm like, it's silence.
Yeah.
My mind isn't thinking on what I have to go do next.
Yeah.
So it brings fulfillment for me. So that is why I would say it's a hobby of mine. But it's a little bit deeper than just a hobby. I feel energized by doing those things.
I think what's interesting too is, like you said, it's something that you get to do, and that makes you feel close to the Lord too.
Yep.
Like, and it really is true. Like, you're pulling from these very distinct and intricate threads that the Lord's woven into you, that like you pull from, and then you're just like, it's an immediate, it's not like a chasing a high or a dopamine hit, but it's just like an immediate, this feels right, like every time.
Yeah.
And if you don't have that, I mean, you gotta, like, it's not, oh, you gotta find a hobby, but it's really more, find something that really does that for you. Because similarly, like if I sit down at the piano, same thing. I'll sit down at the piano and I'll have a great time, or I'll sit down and I'll write, and it's just me. It's the same thing. Like I just feel immediate, oh, yep, this is what I need to be doing.
Yeah. What do you think some of your favorite, I mean, I'm sure there's a ton, but what are some of your favorite hunting memories? Like, was it the elk hunting trip?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Getting that experience, again, thanks to one of our members, Chris. He helped me be able to do that trip. But yeah, I felt close with the Lord, and killing elk with my bow has been a dream of mine for a long time.
So why was that a dream?
Elk are beautiful animals. I was in Oregon, and it's beautiful there. You're in the mountains at sunrise, and it's just, again, you feel so in tune with the Lord in those moments. So
Yeah.
I felt so thankful. Also, we were there with some other Christian men that I got to create good relationships with.
Yeah.
And but yeah, it's hard. If you talk about how many people have killed an elk with a bow, it's not a large amount.
About to say,
Yeah.
did you just one arrow, or how many did you have to use?
Yeah, it was just one arrow. In
Wow.
fact, that I had already missed one though, so it wasn't just one arrow, but I did kill one. It's hard, so I would say it's the most rewarding. High effort, high reward type of a situation. Other memories, obviously taking my kids, and that's what when they get older, I want to be able to take them on big trips like that,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
just do. And I know we've talked about it many times, but the most rewarding thing for me is when in parenting is not just having my thing and them having their things.
Yeah,
It's
doing
like
it together.
Yeah, they know that this is a passion of mine. So when I'm at home watching a YouTube video of elk hunting, they're like, they want to sit down. They want to sit down and watch with me too.
Everybody starts whispering. Like
Yeah,
this.
exactly. Brittany makes fun of it all the time, which is great.
You
I
walk
love.
into the living room,
yeah,
you just hear.
yeah.
Is that a thing you have to do? Is you whispering?
Well, I mean, you can't be loud.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, but they do that too. Like they're just
Yeah, in the
jokingly.
video,
That's
yeah.
funny. That's so funny.
But so I would say another memory for me would be that taking my kids hunting. I've killed a few deer with a rifle, which I don't really rifle hunt with them, but I have taken Sadie because she's older, and I make her carry in a tree, like a tree stand, which is like the same height as her, literally. And we're like walking in the woods, and I put sticks up in a safety harness, and I make her climb a tree legitimately, but she loves it. It's not like me forcing. She wants to do it. And she's like sitting in her tree stand attached to a tree. Like when I say tree stand, it's like a little platform to stand on, by the way. So we're like 20 feet in the air. And yeah, and she loves it, and she still talks about it. So it's rewarding for me to let them experience some of the things that I love, and then they become to love it. And because I think more so they just want to spend time with me.
Yeah.
So that is a really rewarding thing as well.
That's cool.
That's funny. It's like Lucy. We laugh because anytime I talk about the boy in the tree, Lucy is very quick to go. So when's the girl in the house coming out? Every time, because I showed her it was a purple and pink house, and those are her favorite colors. So every time she's like, "But what about the girl in the house?" I'm like, "Can I get this one out first?"
Yeah.
Or like if we play music, it's fun though. If I start playing music upstairs in my office, they'll be up there.
Yeah.
And there's like a little tiny drum set and guitars, and they'll just start playing with me.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. I love it.
That's awesome. Cool.
What about you? What's your life outside?
Oh man, I feel like I'm in that season of life right now where anything that I do outside of the gym or outside of work is going to be with my family and involved with my family and involving my girls and whatever venture I'm on that day. But some things that I enjoy doing right now is just, I enjoy doing music. I'm heavily involved in ministry, like outside of church. So that's something that I'm doing. It's part of my lifestyle, really, and always has been. I had a time where I kind of like ran away from it a little while, but it's very fulfilling, and it's something that I know that I'm like called to do. So very involved in ministries at church, and that entails speaking at church. It entails playing music at church, and and then serving, whether it be helping out with like a kids event or youth event or whatever that might look like. And then of course my girls are involved, and that Addie she's so cute. She'll get up on stage with us with a microphone and worship in her own little way. And
I love that.
Ellie would too if we let her, but she would be all over the place.
Oh man.
But I just enjoy spending time with my family in whatever way that looks like. We've also always been involved in karate and mixed martial arts.
Where did that come from?
Well, my dad was in it when he was young.
Really?
Yeah, like he went to Junior Olympics. I think it's for judo.
Really?
I always get that and another mixed martial arts confused, and I have a hard, or it might be taekwondo. I don't know, one of those. I think it was judo. But he's,
I have no.
Yeah, there's something that he's like always done growing up. So
Shut up. I know where your mind's going. Be quiet.
They're brushing legs over there.
Oh my gosh. So he did it for a while, and so
Jonathan's face is turning red.
did you guys get involved with it because of him too? Like when you were kids?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
So you, Matt, and Wes.
So y'all know I have two brothers, an older brother and a younger brother, and my dad would always show us different movements and stuff that he learned, and he would always be like, "All right, Ashley, come put Wes in like this headlock, or come put him in this."
He
like,
pit you against each other.
Yeah. Why do you think I'm so like tough now and
That's
like
so
competitive? Funny. Yeah. So I mean, for as far back as I can remember, he was like showing us these different moves to do, and he'd be like,
I thought he was just like showing you and him, but he's like, no,
oh no,
go get Wes.
He would put me and Wes against each other.
Oh my gosh,
and
little Matt's like, stop fighting.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah, so that's something that like I said, for as long ago as I can remember, that's something that we were always really involved in sports. Grew up playing every single sport that I could get my hands on. Was better at some than others. Some I just played to fill the time in between the seasons and stay active. But I love sports. Addie's into basketball. Ooh. So I just love, shooting with her outside. And I just try to get involved in whatever my family's interested into. So a lot of people giggle, but obviously, Tyler's super into hunting. And like, it was like starting to cause like a little bit of friction, because he would like always want to like go to the hunting club after work and then get home late and like all this stuff, be watching all these videos. And I'm just like, how dare you? Okay. Either I can be like, we got to put a cap on this. We got to put a limit on it. Or I can like try to see why he's so intrigued by it and see like why he's so interested in it and see if I can like better understand why he's so passionate about it. And so, which he loved. So now I think he loves it because he gets to do it more often without having me being like, what time are you going to be home?
That's pretty funny. That's a great wife.
Yeah. I mean, you try to, just, yeah. But anyways, got into it, and he would take me to the hunting club. And honestly, I would get me a coffee, sit it up in the deer stand, and I'm like, this is so quiet out here.
You're just get a break from the kids. That's what you're thinking.
Nice.
Now you're like,
well, we've taken Addie with us a couple of times, and she loves going too. She was actually with us when I shot my first deer. It wasn't huge. It was like a smaller deer. I think it was like a 6-point, but it was like my first one, and it was from a very long distance. We were really pumped about it. She was pumped about it until she saw the blood, and then she freaked out a little bit. Because like your first time, you're supposed to take it and like put it on your face, and I did that, and she was like,
scared her.
Mommy.
That
so she was a little,
probably didn't help.
But then we explained to her, and of course we don't just do it like for sport. Like we'll take the meat and we'll eat the meat, and it's very good for you, very high in protein, very lean.
5 Forks formula.
So yeah. Anyway, yeah, Jonathan will be having you eating venison every meal.
That's true, right? Yeah. Is that the best protein? Or is chicken still?
Venison's lean, but one more added benefit of that elk I killed, it was 260 pounds of meat. I have a deep chest freezer, and it is full.
It is still full?
Well, no, not anymore. I eat it all the time. So
you just put other stuff in that deep chest freezer too.
Yeah,
bodies. Yeah. just sounds like how you said it. Like I have a deep chest freezer. It's full of meat.
Yeah, I just meant a big freezer. It was crazy how much meat I got from that, and how you're able to use that.
280 pounds. Mm-hmm. That's heavier than me.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Now I'm imagining myself in your deep chest freezer, and I'm going back to the whole bodies thing. I'm like, I could fit in there. I don't like that idea.
You are a much leaner cut now. post 5 Forks formula.
This is turning into cannibalism.
We're not supporting that.
The best lean meat out there.
So yeah, those are some things that I love to do. Trying to reel it back in.
Oh. Let's transition into what you're learning as a result, maybe within the world that you were just talking about. So whether it's you're like karate with the kids or hunting and sports or like music and writing, what have you seen or what's the Lord been teaching you recently in those areas or as a result?
Something I feel like I am being reminded of daily is just taking trying to slow down a little bit because I feel like my life is constantly in like 100 miles an hour, foot down on the pedal in every like area. And I'm trying to take it day by day because like also with someone that has some like underlying anxiety, that can really trigger some things.
Yeah.
And so I feel like the Lord has been telling me to slow down and focus on today. Not saying that you don't plan for in the future, not saying that you don't have goals that you have in mind, but daily doing what you can with the day that you've been given, because we're not necessarily promised tomorrow. We're not, even promised 10 minutes from now. So being intentional about the time that I have in this moment and being present. Because oftentimes I find myself constantly worried about like the next thing, constantly worried about the next big thing that I've got to be doing. And although I do think it's important to, plan and be prepared, I feel like it's also very important to be present with the time that you're given and work the hardest that you can, day by day. So I feel like that's something kind of that I'm going through and trying to get better in my life with right now. So yeah, that's something I feel like I've been learning lately and trying to improve upon.
I like that. Jonathan?
What have I been learning? Most recently, I would say that the Lord has put on my heart that to use the things that I'm passionate about to minister to others, and specifically men. And I used to be, Jonathan would be like, hey, I need to suppress how excited I get about certain things because I still have that child inside of me that's way too childish often. But I do feel that, especially after experiencing, like I said, that elk trip last year, and realizing that the Lord can use those things to minister to people because they might be passionate about the same things I am, and not everyone has to be, but I can use that to minister to others. And then also to be super thankful for, I felt like I should have said this earlier, but my wife, I do feel that she supports my crazy visions and dreams for business, and then she lets me go on these hunting trips as well, where I'm gone for multiple weeks during hunting season, and it's a lot on her plate, so I'm blessed. So that's where my mind's been lately.
Cool.
I think for me, like it's seeing that it's easy if you're passionate about something to get like imposter syndrome for it. Like, I shouldn't be that excited about it, or like if I talk about it, am I going to be annoying to the people around me? Because we do, all of us are kind of similar age. We grew up before social media exploded, and then it just became everyone talks about themselves, and you felt like, I don't want to talk about myself in a self-promoting world. Yeah. But I think the Lord's been showing me like that if he gives you a story or something that you need to write, and he's calling you to write it and to share it, to then not do your due diligence and invest in it and put it out there would be to say that like you don't think that it matters. And that's me thinking like I'm bigger than the thing that the Lord's trying to have me say. And so I've been learning that like the Lord's been like, no, you do need to post this. And it's not it's about me. It's been like, no, if you want people to get this, to hear the story, you have to post it. And it's not you making it about yourself. And in fact, if you don't, that is you making it about yourself, because then you're like, well, I don't want to come across as and I think it's very easy to do that when it comes to those things. So
well, we were created for such a time as now, as they say.
Amen.
So it's like when we were given these passions and these talents and these things that we're good at, I think the Lord knew, obviously that we would be born in this day and age where technology is so advanced and the era that we're in. And so we were given these talents, we were given these passions for a purpose. And I think that I love that what you said, that we're given this for a reason, and hopefully that's to be uplifting and encouraging to others, and all those good kinds of things.
Hey, you have that too, so
yes.
I don't know, it's weird. Anyway, thank you everyone for listening.
Thanks, friends, we're excited.
Like and subscribe.
See you next time. Bye.